Okay, that's a beast.
All right.
Look at that. These
That's
5
an
pounds.
unworldly
Let me see.
beast.
Look at him.
That's a
Good work, son.
Beautiful bass. Thank you, sir.
High five. Good job. Welcome back, regular viewers. Quick outboard motor maintenance video. My prime ball just lost prime, so that's probably bad. So we're going to change that out today. It's very easy to do yourself. We're going to check the rest of the fuel system right there. We're going to check the fuel water separator, as well as just the lines going to and fro the ball right here to make sure that those aren't deteriorated, and see if we can't fix the prime ball not staying hard. All right. So here's the culprit right here. My engine was sputtering like it was running out of fuel, and when I came back and checked this, it was soft, which to me means that this is no longer, the check valve in here is no longer functional. So we're going to replace that and see if that solves our problem. But we're also going to check, like I said, these fuel lines here and the fuel water separator here to see if there's any water or junk in that. All right, so what we need today is we have a 1/4 inch nut driver, and you can see here I've placed my transmission drip pan tray underneath it to catch any fuel that comes out. So we're just going to go ahead and remove these hose clamps on either side. Probably should say those words. Hand it off to my handy dandy cameraman over here.
Thank you.
And you're going to get a little fuel to come out, but that's not a bad thing. But it should not be dripping out that side like that. All right. And we're just going to clamp this up like this. We're going to clamp it to this right here so that the rest of the fuel in the motor doesn't flow out. All right, so you can see the arrow goes this way. So fuel should presumably only flow that direction. So we do have a drip going through it there. So this check valve may be bad. We're going to do a quick little experiment here. We're going to pour some fuel. Here, step back.
Yes, sir.
We're going to pour some fuel down this little funnel here into this the wrong way, and we'll see if fuel flows through it, okay?
Okay.
So again, we have our ball hooked up to this clear line so you can see it. I put a hose clamp on it so there's not going to be leaking up here, and a funnel at the top. Step back so you can see it. All right, so we're going to pour some gasoline down into the funnel. And look at that. That is a bad ball valve right there. You see the leak?
Where?
Down the bottom there.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Which way is the arrow going? Okay, so is the fuel supposed to flow that way?
Nope.
So that has a bad check valve in it. It needs to be replaced. All right? Confirms our suspicions.
Yes.
no.
And for the naysayers out there, just to squelch any thought of that we're making it up, whatever. This is the new one we just put on, and we're going to try the same thing just to show you here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Look at the bottom. You see anything leaking there, guy?
Nothing at all.
Nothing, regular cameraman.
Nothing at all.
Bone dry. We'll shake it about, shake it all about, and do the hokey pokey. We'll turn it all around, because apparently that's what it's all about. But it's not leaking. So we did have a bad check valve on the other ball, and this one is good. All right, so now we're going to check out our fuel water separator and see if there was any water in our fuel from the last year. Just want to generally spill that all over your pickup truck tailgate. The cleaned out pickle jar. Don't put your pickles back in this after you do this procedure. That's below average. They will not taste as good, but no water. Very nice. That's what you want to see. So now we can just reinstall this. All right, so before we reinstall, we're going to reinspect our fuel, or inspect our fuel lines. Want to make sure there's not a bunch of like black junk, that's coming off of them, like they're corroding. I'm looking in there to see if the wall still looks good in there. It's not collapsed. This is ethanol safe fuel line that I purchased, so I don't anticipate there to be a problem, but we're going to look anyway while we have it apart. And those both look good. Okay, so now we're going to reinstall it. I've got the hose clamps in place. We're going to make sure our arrow goes this way because that's the line that goes into the engine. Arrow needs to go to the engine. Press it on. There we go. Put our hose clamp back in place. Righty tighty. Good. Now we shouldn't have to worry about fuel coming out of it because we just checked it. Those are on there, nice. And we checked our fuel water separator here. There was no water in it. We reinstalled that. You can replace it if you want. I didn't see a need to this year. It was perfectly fine. If there was a bunch of water in it, then I would definitely feel the need to replace it. But we're going to have to repump this ball to bring fuel back from the tank up into the fuel water separator and then back up into the motor. Okay, so the motor is operating fine. We've been running for a few minutes. Ball is appropriate, nice and hard like it's supposed to be. And we don't have any fuel leaks. It's been idling now for a few minutes, and no stuttering or stammering or anything like that. We got plenty of fuel here, so it's not starving for fuel there. All right, so while doing the inspection around, I did notice that the vapor separator tank had a line that was leaking on it. So we're just going to do a quick repair on that. All right, so finding more work in the middle of your project is always fun, but this is a good thing because we have the fuel line in store to replace it, and we got new hose clamps and everything like that, so we can do this job. We'll replace both these fuel lines right now. That way we don't have to worry about it. We're going to start with a 10 millimeter nut driver here to take the cover off the motor. Okay, and when we take all four of these flywheel cover bolts out, this just simply lifts off, which gives you more room to work right here. Not a lot of room, but more room. So we can cut off these zip ties holding this on and take these fuel lines off. These ones here are a little more entertaining. I'm going to need two hands to do this, but we're going to use these clippers right here and essentially cut those off. Oh, maybe I can do it like that. And then we're going to have to pull these off of here and off of here. And of course, this system may have some residual fuel in it, so I take some old rags and stuff them down in here just to catch the excess. And remember to remove those so that you don't set your motor on fire later on when you're running it. Okay, so the first one's out, and I'm going to save it right over here because I'm going to obviously need to use that to make the next one. I've got my idiot paint on here. So I know where they reattach to, and we will put it back in the same place there, which also helps take photos and videos while you're doing it. That way you can tell as well. But you can see the red line, which matches the red line on that one, so we're going to have to put a new red line on the new one. So I wouldn't say it was super easy to get those off of there, but it wasn't too bad. But here that one is as well. And again, save the pieces because we need the length. Let's make up our first one. This one is kind of a little bit hard and not what you really want. Plus it's got that gray interior, which is the kiss of death for fuel if it runs ethanol in it at all. So we're going to measure it out here, right to there. All right, marine fuel line, and we're going to get this guy installed with some little hose clamps this time.
What a package of hose clamps.
So that way it's a little nicer to work with. So the first line is installed here, and we're going to tighten these hose clamps down just out here, and then we're going to put our idiot mark back on it. I'm just going to repeat this process again, get the approximate length of it right to there, and cut it off and mount that one as well. Shove that down all the way onto there, and then across. Oh, don't forget the hose clamp. Don't forget your hose clamp. All right. And we got to be careful. We don't want that to get in the way of our teeth right there. So we're going to have to play around with this one to make it fit right. Come up with a way to do that. We'll have to get a little wrench there to tighten that one down because we don't want that interfering with these teeth. All right? Okay, so we're back together. I'm going to use my wife's fingernail polish and reapply my idiot mark here so that I know that this white end goes to that white end right there. Next time I got to take it apart, I'll do the same thing down there. Red paint to red paint. A little easier to get to and to see there, but all right, idiot marks applied. Beautiful. Now let's turn this motor on and make sure she's running right. Regular viewers, well, thank you very much. We replaced our priming ball. Then we found that we had two bad fuel lines here, and because as the regulator says I'm a hoarder, I kept this few inches of perfectly good fuel line around, which was enough to build these. And I also had some little hose clamps on hand that made better connections than the garbage ones that originally came on it there. So all in all, good project. I think we paid $7 for the new fuel, for the new priming ball, and we had all this on hand, so that cost me $0. So for $7, we've got our motor back up and running, and we can get out there and relax while we go fishing. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. If you'd like to, we got our email address right here. You can send us an email of any of the projects that you're working on here. Other than that, thanks for watching, and
You stay regular.
Don't forget.
Hey, what are you kids doing?
You stay regular.